host online international exchanging event and to get knowledge for students' better experience and learning. So this time we targeted at the orange part who served as the hosts of the event. But they were also expected to be participants when they were available. And this is outline of my presentation. First, I'll give a brief introduction of our international exchanging event called World Youth Meeting. Both past World Youth Meeting held face-to-face and last year's World Youth Meeting held online. And next, I'll introduce the hosting part, hosting the World Youth Meeting as part of a university's official class. And then I'll introduce the results of questionnaires and reflection report held after the World Youth Meeting and discuss what we can see from these results. And this is the schedule to host the World Youth Meeting. Now, because of time limitation, I don't go detail, but I hope you please keep in mind that 2 days international exchanging event was held online. And the preparation was also held online in 2020. And on the event 2 days, only required students joined the international exchanging event in the campus, but basically for hosting reason, to host the event. So then let me briefly introduce about the World Youth Meeting itself. I start with introduction of the World Youth Meeting before COVID-19. The World Youth Meeting is an international collaborative event among several Asian countries. And it has more than 20 years history. And participating countries are East and Southeast Asia, including China, Korea, the Philippines, Malaysia, Cambodia, etc. And the core activity in the World Youth Meeting is joint presentations by the groups composed of Japanese and overseas students. This picture shows that Japanese and Taiwanese students are making a joint presentation in front of many audiences. Then they also had a so-called active learning session, where they rather focus on discussion with small number of audiences. Of course, they had time to casually exchange with meal and also enjoy the cultural tours before. Yeah, but the World Youth Meeting 2020, it was held online for the first time in 20 years history. And this is 2 days schedule. And I will briefly introduce core parts of this schedule. And yeah, collaborative presentations were held like this time, as just I do now at this conference by using Zoom or Microsoft Teams. And the presenters gathered, presenters of my university gathered at my university for to secure a stable network and easier collaboration with their colleagues. Yeah, but of course, their partner, overseas partners are not there. They joined in their home or in their university. It depends. In my university, the students who are not presenters nor online room administrators joined basically from their home last year, as the audience at the right picture shows. We also set a program that focused on discussion in English. This is the screen capture of the entertainment session. Some participants did special performances. And before the closing ceremony, they had cafe talk time. After finishing presentation and discussion that make them nervous, they enjoyed casual conversation separated into several groups. So today, I focus on the organization of the World Youth Meeting. As I talked earlier, students prepared to host the World Youth Meeting as part of my university's official class. This is a basic information of the official class or lecture. It's a 4-unit subject, and according to the syllabus, they are expected to learn effective English presentation. The event is not a competition, so they are expected to learn from each other's presentation. The students are also expected to acquire skills to host an event and to facilitate international exchanging event. The number of enrolled students were 165 in 2019 and 155 in 2020. And they were divided into about 10 groups to host the event. And I'll briefly explain some tasks done by the students to host the event rather than explaining this chart in detail. So when it was hosted on face-to-face, for example, I talked about active learning session earlier. This session is held concurrently in about 10 rooms. So during the transit time, the students need to guide participants appropriately. They owed such tasks too. And they also prepared brochures like this. And facilitate facilities, including the presentation environment. And this year, it was held online again. No, not this year, last year. This year, just last week, we finished this year's event. So students administrated online conference rooms in this way. They prepared an online brochure and guided participants to the appropriate online rooms through the website. Now, I move on to the results of the questionnaire and the reflection report. We compare the results of 2020 and 2019 questionnaire. Also, when the event was held online in 2020, I also compared the results between students who were in campus on either or both of the event days, like this, and students who were in their home on both days. We conducted a questionnaire after the World Youth Meeting. This slide shows the questions we focused on this time. First one is if the students understand how to deliver an effective English presentation. Second and third is about communication. It's an important factor for the collaboration in project-based learning. Until 2019, it was obvious that the students communicated well with the same batch students, same year students, and asked only about the communication with another student because it was rare opportunities for most students to collaborate with another grade students. This year, we added an item, even asking about communication with the same year students, because we thought that they might have hard time to collaborate since they need to do online. Fourth and fifth are related to the kind of self-affirmation or self-esteem. And this table shows the result of t-test between World Youth Meeting 2020 and 2019. There was no significant difference for items about English presentation, utilization of their abilities, and contribution to the World Youth Meeting. And this result indicates that through PBL, the students understood what they should do and what had developed a sense of fulfillment, even though the event was held online. Thus, as long as the tasks are clear and meaningful, I think it is possible to implement meaningful PBL through an online event. But there was a significant difference for the item regarding communication with students from another grade. They also observed that teachers also observed that first-year students and second-year students, it seemed to be separated this year, and that led to the insufficient information sharing. I think we need to check this point more in detail. And we compare the students' responses in 2020 in further detail. As I talked earlier, only allowed students came to the campus on the event days. So I conducted a t-test for comparing responses of students who came to the campus on either or both of the event days and the students who joined the event from their home on both days. There was no significant difference in English presentation. And yeah, I'd like to look at this communication part carefully. There was no significant difference in communication 1, that is communication with another year students. And there was significant difference in communication 2, that is communication with the same year students. As communication 2, if they have already established their relationship before, they could communicate well for collaboration soon after meeting face-to-face. But they have not established their relationship with another year student yet, and they felt hard to collaborate, even after meeting face-to-face. So it will be a challenge in the future how to establish first and second year students' relationship before they tackle with team tasks, especially face-to-face occasion is limited. Oh, time is running out, so I will quickly finish. So yeah, this picture shows, this table shows that the students who joined from the campus on the event days felt higher sense of fulfillment. And this table showed the extracted keywords from students' free writing in the reflection reports in descending order of the frequency. And we can discuss quite a lot. Actually, the keyword that did not appear on the top 20 in the other years are shaded. We can discuss a lot from these results, but because of time limitation, I would just like to talk about one issue, the keyword exchange. And because of the lack of informal occasion, even though we prepared cafe talk or other opportunities to communicate among participants, it seemed not enough. So yeah, it's a challenge. Challenge to prepare the occasion for the exchange, informal part of the exchange program. And this is the just summary of what I talked about. So yeah, because of time limitation, yeah, I keep turn on this slide and would like to go to the Q&A session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sato. Thank you for describing this interesting event, because I personally haven't experienced such international collaborative event. So I found it quite interesting. And I think you have made systematic comparison between online and face-to-face. And even during the online session, you compare like on campus and online, and reveal some very interesting findings. So let's see if the audience have any questions regarding those findings, needed clarifications.
Chairman, so I got the comment for Professor Sato's presentation. It's very good. It's very interesting. And my feeling is that you mentioned the very key point about, in your last line, that is the kind of informal communication for the exchange. Yes, we can put it online, but on the other hand, that because the lack of the informal communication and informal activities that would cultivate the relationship among the participants. Without, that is the kind of relationship that you mentioned, that will become the basis for further collaboration.
Right,
because, of course, nowadays, with this kind of communication tools, we can communicate with each other. But for example, for this virtual online conference, then of course we can discuss, we can exchange, we can, exchange our ideas. But on the other hand, there is a lack of the informal activities that could happen in the physical conference, right? So right. That kind of things, will help us to do the, further collaboration, make friends, and so on. And I'm not too sure how these kinds of things can be implemented with the technology. That is something really, sad about these kinds of things. Don't forget, Professor Sato, in 2018, we met in the ICBL 2018 Kansai. And then, it's at that time we met and we discussed, and we have further collaboration opportunity like this in this year, right? But without that sort of physical conference, that it is hardly to make it happen. What do you say?
Yeah, of course, I think so. And how to supplement the informal part, it's really hard. And of course, it will be impossible to totally support only through online. But now, just my curiosity, nothing related to this presentation, but Professor Kage, at the movie we introduced at the opening ceremony, we sometimes use the 3D virtual space to gather together. So such kind of, how can I say, communication or the gathering that to improve the sense of being there together may help a little bit. But still, we cannot eat in such a space.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe next time when people organize online conference, we do have some kind of online chat room for tea break.
Mhm, mhm,
So, to facilitate the informal communication, because,
mhm,
previously for the tea breaks, we met each other, and then we have a lot of the informal discussion and so on. But so tea break nowadays, you go away to do your own things
mhm,
and so on. So
Right,
maybe
right.
that is some kinds of technologies that can help. Yes,
Mhm,
yes.
mhm.
Right. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you very much for
Thank
the
you.
nice comments.
I have a question. May I ask you a question?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, I'm Yoshida from Kansai University. May I ask Dr. Kageto about this? Since you have 20 years of history, how did you establish teacher-to-teacher relationship at the beginning of your event? And what is the important thing to continue for 20 years?
Yeah, sorry, I missed to tell the important thing. The World Youth Meeting was started by the second author, Professor Kageto, long ago. At that time, I worked for a company and just supported him technically.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Mhm. 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 Okay, thank you very much.
Any other questions?
Yes. Hello, Professor Sato and Professor Kageto. Yeah,
Hi. Hello.
I think it is a very interesting event that holds in your university. And my question is, since students are from the different countries, right?
Yes.
And in your uh, self-assessment, that students reported different answers on the presentation, communication, and utilization ability. So I wonder if these students are from different countries and their abilities are different, right? For example, they are English speaking, and they are all different. So how to make a comparison uh, on these students uh, make a comparison on these two years.
What do you mean, 2 years?
I mean, this comparison has some difficulties because the students are from different countries and have different abilities themselves. Right.
Yes. Uh, yeah, actually, yeah, of course, it's a really difficult part, and the teachers devote themselves so much to facilitate such collaboration. Uh, yeah, but maybe no, we are making effort to support our students, but maybe Professor Kageto have comments about this part. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yeah, of course, if students try to only verbal communication, they cannot accumulate the result of discussion. So yeah, we recommend them to prepare the kind of slide to share together and record there. And yeah, that kind of the step-by-step communication support them to collaborate little by little.
Okay, thank you.
I hope it will be some of
Yeah.
the answer.
Actually, today is the International Young Day. Yeah, I think it's very, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you. All right. Any other questions? We still have a few minutes. I think we're running a little bit ahead of time, but that is okay. Today, I think all 5 presentations are very well conducted research, revealing many interesting findings. We're talking about task-oriented, learning, problem-based learning, and there are research study talking about scaffolding, different types of scaffolding. There are research talking about, how teacher characteristics, teacher experience, and the learning design affect, the learning perception, the potential influencing factors. So although online collaborative learning seems to be a topic that we've been discussing a lot for the past 20 years, but still we feel there's so much we don't know and so